Mic lock button is on. Double tap to lock mic trigger. Mic lock. Finish recording button.
I don't need that now, Rosemary.
You sure?
Yeah. Well, hi guys. Welcome to another Vloggkast week. There's a few things I want to talk about. I did an update, but I forgot to post it. So when I do post it, this will have already been posted. That's the first bit.
One notification. 39% battery power. Not charging.
Oh yeah, I will put you on charge in a minute. Right. First thing to talk about. I wanted to be serious talking about this. YouTube strategy. I know this channel doesn't get paid. I don't get paid for doing this channel. But we are going to be serious on doing things. The big sort out videos are going to be done from 2 locations. Because we're doing them as like lazy Sunday videos, but we are, we're kind of doing them in between other things. I also have the Creative Thoughts videos, and I've got tutorials to do, so... And in between all that, you've got your pretend radio station. Yes, well, I'm doing another video on that, because every time I talk about it, it keeps... Yeah. And I did want to say as well that I will be posting a lot less videos or a lot more videos during as and when. Because we're coming up to the summer period, a lot's happening business-wise, and we still haven't finished the Magic Silver Ring podcast, which we need to do. Yeah, we said we were going to do that every Friday. Yes. What we're doing now, and what we've decided to do, is do the Magic Silver Ring podcast at the end of the week, and then we can make sure it goes out every Friday. Yeah. At the, do it at the start of the week, and then these vlogcasts get done every Monday. Because we can't do them every Tuesday. We were going to do them on Tuesdays, like a car cast thing, but it's difficult to do. There is a behind the scenes vlog, which is going to go out every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks it's going out. And that's the news we've got on that. Plus, Steve was also saying that he'd rather focus on business stuff, so the Lazy Sunday video, which is the big sort out videos, going through his CD collection. He'll do it as and when. Well, no, I won't do it as and when, because then that means that a video doesn't get put out. Because I'm doing videos for the company. So, for Ball and Mackinell Productions. So we've got a couple of things we're doing. We've come under stress, which, yeah, I kind of, just a spoiler for a behind the scenes vlog video. We're doing this as part of the Imaginary Friends blog as well, for those who follow that on Facebook. Oh yeah, for those who follow. So I'm those people now. In fact, we're doing an Imaginary Friends Q&A pretty soon with you, Andy, and probably Charles if he wants to come on it. Yeah. But like at the old Coffee With Me videos, and yeah. The Imaginary Friends blog is going to become a book, but not yet. So that's another spoiler. The book is more based on Andy and Rosemary. It's done in the form of a blog post thing, but it's done in the form of Adrian Mole type thing. It's done very slapsticky type stuff. More like Last of the Summer Wine type everyday goings-ons, but very corny, very casual. And then I'm also doing another book. I've decided to do my autobiography. After I've written these two books, but I want to write a book on the struggles as a person living with autism, because I've lived through some struggles, believe me, you. But I think a lot of parents ask the same question. Oh, little Jimmy, or little Jimmy or little Jill. They live in their own little worlds and we don't understand the world. How do we understand the world? Or, little Jimmy talks to himself and it's not normal. I do in this video, I do the voice for Andy, I do the voice for Rosemary, I do all the voices for my imaginary friends. And I'd set up a page called Nonconformity Through Autism. You can find it on Facebook. I don't know how you spell it because I use dictation, but you can find it. And those who find it can read it, and so on and so forth. But I wanted to do a book on my life, going from age 12 to up to I'd say 14, 15. From that age. And then I'll do a book kind of juniors leaving for high school, because it was very different. That whole life was different. I didn't know I had Asperger's syndrome, and when I got it, it was, how can we get rid of it? And I can tell you all the good stuff. But anyway, blah, blah, blah. As part of the Imaginary Friends blog, I made a story about one of our companies, XCOM, and I still haven't spoken to our good friends yet. But anyway, one of Dad's sheds was one of XCOM's shops. How much of the story can we actually tell? So yeah, it's been one of their shops, and we've thrown one of the tenants out. However, we've got XCOM. And we've also got two companies. In fact, Charles has got a company. I've got the building company, and I've also got the phone company. And I've got the advertisement company. But I do want to do more things with the building company, and the phone company. I don't really want to have anything to do with it, because there's that much politics within it. But anyway, so anyway, I've spoke about that. Speaking, you are working on your book, aren't you, at the moment? Yes, it's this now being the final draft of the book. This is what I'm going to tell you, right? The Glass Future is this is the final draft of it. The other drafts I'm not publishing, but for those people who have asking questions about it, they'll get to see it. Because I've got the ideas from. Well, I'll tell you where I've got the ideas from the book. I've lost the article. I was listening to an article in the Talking newspaper about Underground Neville Street. I thought, what would it be like to go down there? And I actually thought about writing a book. And it started out as... And I wanted the genre to be kind of this whole, cyber, sci-fi punk. Kind of going against the grain type feel. And now it's like a cake, It's like a cake that's stewed over for 3 years. No, it's like, I don't know, it's the last draft of the book, I'm using parts of the last draft of it when we get into Xeron. But it's like the beginning of the book is based on a princess who gets stolen, and she gets taken into Xeron, and she's stolen, and basically the people who steal her are there's a group called the Hackers. Now, the Hackers are cyborgs. They're not all cyborgs, but this group of hackers are cyborgs, and they're bad, and they are they're basically well, this is the bit that's going to be on the blog. It's not going to be in the book because it's too much information. But there is a supercomputer called 422. Oh, sorry, there's another spoiler. Too many spoilers in this vlogcast. Yeah. If you don't like spoilers, then I don't know where they're coming in, but there is lots of spoilers in this. So basically what happens in 422 is a supercomputer. Another spoiler alert, 422 is based on a real place. It's based on a real place, but for copyright reasons, we've had to move where it actually is. But if you want to know where 422 is actually based on, it's based on one of Southport's worst kept secrets, which I'm sure you can do your own research on. oh dear. But yeah, there's actually a bunker in Southport, but to keep Southport's worst kept secret kept, where for copyright reasons and for other reasons, it's not where it is. Well, it is where it is, but it isn't where it is, if that makes any sense. It's in the book, it's underneath Southport College. But I'm sure people will. There is actual. If you do your research, you can actually find out where it is. But for copyright and all of that, we've based it underneath Southport College. Which brings us to a corny end of the book. Because we get to also bring in a tribute, not tribute, but we also get to bring in a mention to a friend of ours, Mike Dowling, who takes ownership of the computer from Phil King. So, it's kind of a Phil King who passed away, and Phil King and all the other councillors decide to lock the supercomputer up, and switch it off, because they think that nobody needs to access Xeron ever again. But there's going to be a sequel to it at some stage where the disc gets found. Because I do want there to be a sequel to this book at some stage. I've got ideas for a sequel. Another spoiler. White City, which is the name of a public toilet, that is where Xeron starts. It doesn't start in Underground Neville Street, but Underground Neville Street is kind of where we meet the trolls. That's kind of where we meet the trolls, and it's where we meet the nice trolls. It's where we meet the three main trolls in the book: Bella, Rourke, and Jack. And in fact, they're friends. Well, actually, they're not all friends, but and Bella is. I'm just gonna another spoiler alert. Bella is one of those trolls that you kind of she comes out as a bit of a brat when you first meet her, and I kind of wanted a character that a few characters in the book that we hate at the beginning, but then we just love towards the end. In fact, I do love Bella in the book because she falls in love with one of the characters. There's a bit of a, and even though he's a human and can't fall in love with a troll, she does fall in love with him. And that's connected to real life, but again, that's a bit personal. But I thought I'd add that to the book. Oops. And James, I decided that James would be the one that falls in love with Bella. Because Mike, well, I'm not going to spoil it too much, but there's something to do with the princess, there's something in it for him. Because, again, another spoiler alert, from reading J.R.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit, there was something in it for Bilbo. You kind of know partway through that the ring was the real treasure. You kind of know partway through. You also kind of know when you get to the mines of when you get to the treasure hall, when they get to all the treasure, you kind of know that Bilbo's already got his treasure. And that's the thing with Mike, he's got the princess already. It's, there's a kind of thing there, so he doesn't need anybody else. But James, James is another, he's not a douche, but he is, I don't know, he's, he's looking for the right one. Let's put it that way. He's looking for the right one, but in the wrong places. And he doesn't see that Bella, even though she's a troll, she is the right one, and she takes care of him. Yeah. She takes care of him. She gets him out of sticky situations, as you'll see. And she gets him out of sticky situations. And even though he teases her off, and annoys her and upsets her, she's still there for him. And then in the end, it's like, I do love you. And it's like, I didn't know, but from the start, but in actual fact, and she's there when James is chasing other girls, but you'll find out that they're not the right one for him. I know the book's not based on James and Mike, and but it's based around there's other people in the book we do meet, and Matthew Turbo, which is actually me. You don't meet him straight off in the book, but you do hear of him in the beginning of the book, because Matthew Turbo, he is hiding in Fort 22, because he is looking after the quartz crystal. Now he has to get rid of that. In the because you learn that Fort 22 is all it is. It's just a bunker. But it's getting to Fort 22, and I kind of want the end to be open-ended, because if it's going to have a sequel, it's got to be open-ending, but I want a sort of a happily ever after feel to it. The castle is based around the Palace Hotel. And yeah. And even though Fort 22 is inside the computer, it's inside a computer and people can get into it and out of it and all that kind of thing. I kind of wanted to there'll be a lot of mentions in the book about a deck of cards. I don't mean playing cards, I mean punch cards. It'll say it in the book anyway. Punch cards, data cards, and basically what the deck of cards, so the computer can understand what instructions to do. Matthew Turbo is also in a sticky situation, but you're not going to know what it is in this book. Well, you are, but not fully. His sticky situation is getting rid of the quartz crystal, because it's infected with a virus. It's infected with a virus which could infect the whole operating system and could kill everybody within it. Unfortunately, there is a person in the book who I won't mention because they are one of the characters, wants the quartz crystal so badly. So he wants the quartz crystal so badly, and there's a bit of a kerfuffle. What you've got to also learn is that Matthew Turbo owns the Daily Blob, right? That's his newspaper. He also hires Mike. This is a big spoiler. Yeah. You kind of know what the gist of the whole thing is. But also, getting back to one important thing as well. Getting back to the thing as well is I'm kind of into my technology. I'm into a lot of things. And so going back to C64s and technology I never had, but growing up, you know, the technology being at your fingertips. And I remember we did a play at school once based around the millennium. And I remember sitting at a computer once, hearing the world is at your fingertips on the radio, and I was sat at the computer thinking, what if you launched the internet and you literally dive into that world? What would it be like? And then I was watching a Console Wars of the Past video by New Gen Gamers, and they were showing off Tron on the Intellivision, and they were describing it being like being inside the computer. And I'm researching Tron and The Matrix and all that kind of really good stuff. And I have decided that, you know, go on, Andy. You haven't mentioned Xeron, with it being another universe that people can tap into. How can you get into it from the underground Neville Street? Well, you can get into it down the Super Information Highway, which is an internet, but there's a big joke about the Super Information Highway, the road to Xeron. And if anybody else also wants to know where I base the Super Information Highway on, they only need to go down the coastal road and know that's is that the Super Information Highway? Yeah. The Super Information Highway is the coastal road. Yeah. I mean, it is a bit of a switchback, but...
2 notifications. Monday the 10:13 p.m. 39% battery power. Not charging. Status bar item. Swipe down with 3 fingers to reveal notifications.
I'm really freaking tired,
Swipe up
and
with
I
3
only
fingers
did
to
like
reveal.
half a workout. So what happens to like Xeron? Can we get into it from a computer or? Yes, but again, I don't want to spoil it too much. I've given the main plot away. You know, another thing, like I've mentioned, there are actual Southport brands that get mentioned in the book. The Make It workshops in the book. The Make It workshops in the book. There is one pub which is based off the Tap and Bottles, but it's not called that in the book. It's called something else. But yeah, it's based around the Tap Bottles. There is Southport Brewery in the book. There's lots of stuff, because when the book comes out, we want to advertise these brands, but you know, knowing that people can go to them. And Southport's Hidden Gems. Tim the Hedgehog's in the book. Yeah. There's also somebody else in the book as well, but I can't think. Martin and Ray are in the book, but it's going to be Ray, Christopher, and Martin Much, just for one, for copyright reasons, and two, I think that sounds better. Yeah. But of course, if you read, you'll know which one's Ray and which one's Martin, even though I've switched them round, because in the first draft, Martin was Ray and Ray was Martin, so just to confuse people. But, you know, if you read the book, I'm sure you'll know. I mean, but they're not main characters. They're only in the background and they don't really feature in it all that much. You know, and they go into a few sticky situations. A bit like real life, if you know them. But I wanted to feature them in the book because, I don't know, it's like they've been great friends of mine, and I don't know, there was a lot of them in the first draft. And also there's a tribute to Lisa Tinsley in the book. So her character's called Eliza, because on Facebook she was Eliza Do Nothing. That was her profile, but her last name's not Do Nothing, it's Eliza Tinsley in the book, and it's a tribute to Lisa, and she I'm not going to tell you what happens with her in the book, but she's a cyborg in the book. That's all I can tell you. But she runs off with somebody, and that's all I can tell you. Oh, you've given her another spoiler. Yeah. Oh, enough spoilers. In fact, no, there is another spoiler. This week's, tomorrow's TikTok is the Red Door, Yellow Door challenge. And, yeah. And I thought you were going to do another compilation, because you were going to... Yes, I am, but once I've got rid of the... Well, not got rid, but once I've done the Red Door, Yellow Door. Red Door, Yellow Door, any other crap door. It's funny, though, when you see people do it, because... it's one of those things. It's like, do you think that it's dangerous or? Oh yeah, it's dangerous. It's like, well, actually, Red Door, Yellow Door, or Black Door, White Door. It's very like a game that I have played when I was a kid, where you lie down, and in fact, what happens is you lie down, and before you close your eyes, you're given a scenario, right? And the scenario is you are in a maze, and you are trapped, right? But you can go. I think you're given a path, right? I can't remember the game fully. And one person is the angel, and you are the whatever suspect. The angel is the one that takes you round the maze. They're there to guide you. They're the one that says, do you go left, do you go right, blah, blah, north or south. And you're the person that, you know... But, yeah, it is dangerous. It's a bit like nightmare, isn't it? You know, go through the door. Yeah, it's like nightmare. But really, you know, playing it, it's not. You're not bringing any spirits in. The only spirit you're going to bring in is your shadow self, which isn't dangerous, but it's like I believe it is this, right? Your shadow self, there's always a footprint. It's like retracing your steps, trying to look for those footprints again, where you shed those footprints. And all this bollocks about familiar spirits. I don't believe ghosts are familiar spirits. I think, like, my personal opinion is a ghost is our former self left behind. What we do in our life is done. It's there. It's you know, I believe what you do in your life, it's like you step through a door and whatever you do in your life, it's like stepping through a door. And where you close the door on it, it's fine. But make sure you kind of take and learn from it. Yeah. It's like if you've cheesed someone off, maybe I'll cheese someone off, whatever. But then make sure that I don't know. It's one of those things. It's my belief is that what you do in life, you leave that wherever it is. Right? That person that haunts, it's not that person, it's something else. A familiar spirit is a demon disguised. You know, when, say, for example, little Johnny, let's just say little Johnny died, okay, let's just say little Johnny died. When you use a Ouija board, don't know if anyone knows this, you use a Ouija board or you go to a medium and they say, do you see little Johnny? Whatever, they pick a name, Johnny. Right? He's got a message for you. Right? That's opening a door to something that, it's opening a door you shouldn't open. And that's where the familiar spirits come in. Because there might be a demon disguised as Johnny. The real Johnny's gone. But people go through stages of grief. I mean, I'm following the story on Coronation Street at the moment with Leanne, the character Leanne. We learn that she's struggling, going through the grieving stage. But I always think when you go to these mediums or you go through that, you're at a very vulnerable stage. Because you're opening a door to something. And really, the healthy part is knowing that person. It's like I don't know. My nan passed away on mummy's side, and I don't really have. The sad thing is, I don't really have something to remember Nana just by the words, though, because she, But I always see something that Mummy has, and I'll go, "Oh, Nana." But a ghost is more complicated because we don't know really what a ghost is. We don't fully understand that side of it. We don't understand the laws of death, the paranormal laws, what have you. And I am freaking tired today. But yeah, that's what I personally believe. Getting back to red door, yellow door, the only thing that you're going to bring out is your past and your traumas, your childhood traumas, whatever. And it's like, that's not something you should be meddling with. You should be meddling with anything anyway, but anyway, these people don't do it properly. I'm saying that. Some of them do it properly, but you have to be... It's not a game that I would play, personally, because I'm very good at meditating. I've got a very deep imagination, and it's going into the mind. Yeah. But I do believe in shadow people, though.
10:29 p.m.
Have you seen shadow people or? Yeah, I've had experience with shadow people. I'll tell you something that I am putting in my book, in my second autobiography, was when I was at my Nana's house, my Nana's old house. There was two things that happened to me there. But one of them was when I was in the hallway. I was never alone. Never alone. It was like being in a crowded shop or crowded, I was never alone in that hall. But it didn't fear me. It didn't fear me. The only problem I had once was I think I must have been tired, or I don't know, it was fairly late at night. And I just felt like somebody was trying to push past me. I felt nothing of it. I just didn't feel fear of anything in that hallway. Because I wasn't pushed over or anything like that, but I felt like something was there. I can't explain it. Because I used to make a lot of people up, so I assumed that a lot of people were, made up, but I didn't feel alone in that hallway. I didn't feel alone in the hallway. Another thing that happened, right, was the man who fixed the window. I made a story that someone had broken in. I've not told my mother this story. Mum, if you watch my channel, skip this bit. I've actually put in the description where to skip this bit, but skip this bit. Fast forward to the next part of the video or something. Because, anyway, there was the box room where I slept. And I stopped sleeping in there for a while. I don't know why. But just to cut a long story short, there was a person in the room with me one night. I felt this thing climb across my bed, right? And I didn't hear anything. And my dad came in the room and turned the light on. And that's all I remember. Everything else a blur. Why he came in that room, I don't know. But I went and slept in my sister's room after that. And that was after Grandad Matt died. But yeah, and then the other thing that happened in that house, which doesn't even mention in the book, but I'll just mention it anyway. My experience with ghosts. I'm kind of skeptical, very open-minded. I do know what they are now. I know in detail. When I was a kid, I just thought they were made up. I thought ghosts, they can't exist. It wasn't that you didn't believe in them more. It wasn't. No, I knew what they were. I knew. I was very well educated as a kid. But I thought ghosts were kind of, when you die, your ghost comes and haunts, whatever, it's like a dead person, you don't see them or whatever. So I was kind of skeptical. Really, it was a nice way to understand death. Because I understood that when a person dies, they don't come back. In fact, I understood death from watching Short Circuit. There's a scene in where Johnny 5, or number 5 as he is, he's going, "No, disassemble, Stephanie." And actually, a week after watching that episode, my cousin's hamster died. And she explained death to me because I got told off over this hamster dying, because I've been playing in a room, as you do. And I had touched the cage, but anyway, that's the story. He hadn't killed the hamster. No. So, anyway, my cousin said, Stephen, I want to explain something to you. I'm like, go on then, explain it. She took me aside and explained death. I was about 6. Bear in mind, I'd watched Short Circuit 2 nights before this explanation. So she was like, like such and such is in heaven. She's like, I was like, yeah, go on. She's like, well, that's what's happened. It's nothing you've done or anything. It's natural. And I was like, yeah, I know. I wasn't sad. I was trying to understand it, trying to comprehend it. So I was like, I didn't mention Short Circuit to it because, so I'll explain again. So she explained and I had a little bit of a cry, because once I understood it, that were it. But I think ghosts, to me, when I was a kid, it's like, how can that person come back? But really, my own belief with ghosts is, not all of the ghosts are familiar spirits. Because some of them are either people travelling from this world to the next. And are they bad? Is it bad to see a person when they're crossing from this world to the next? Or maybe they're astral travelling. That's happened. Where someone's been somewhere and it's been, as they're drifting off to sleep, they've been somewhere they shouldn't be. Because I saw someone once, can't remember where it was off the top of my head, and I was like, we did this thing together. Oh, no, we didn't, Stephen, because I was at home. Huh? Was you? Well, if you were at home, why were you there? So it's only happened once. I can't figure out where it's happened, but it's happened. And I've seen somebody just before they've died. And I was like, I've seen such a body in town. Well, you couldn't have done. No, I saw them in town today. So, they helped me on the bus. I can't think who it was now. It was somebody who went to Galloway's. I can't think of them. And I got there and they said to me, oh, such a person's gone. What do you mean they've gone? I've seen them. Oh, no. What do you mean? So I don't know. I'm very skeptical. People think they know what ghosts are, but we don't know. We don't know. There's that famous story of a ghost getting into a car, and well, I'll tell you two ghost stories. I'll tell you two ghost stories very quickly. So the first encounter I had of a ghost was at my nan's house. I was sat listening to Wet, 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 right? And I had the window open, and I heard this brushing sound, and I thought, all right there, mate, hello, mate, do you like this Wet, Wet, Wet song? I thought it was a window cleaner, and I was banging on the window, and I couldn't work out where this brushing sound was coming from. Anyway, I went downstairs and said to my dad, I said, is the window clean a bit? He said, no. I said, oh, I heard this brushing sound. And my dad just went quiet. I thought he'd tell me off or something, but we were sat in his car, I can't remember where we were going, and he was just quiet for the rest of the journey. I was like, Dad? I was like, you alright? Well, but no, I didn't say that. I was like, Dad? I was like, we were just quiet. We just sat quiet for the rest of the journey, and we just listened to the radio or something. But I didn't get two and two together. My second ghost story was we were traveling home from, we just dropped my sister off at college, and we had our nan with us. This story will live with me for the rest of my days. And I was listening to my CD on full blast, right? And I had some good headphones. So I knew my nan was pretty worked up that day. Because, and I just changed the CD, and I was listening to the CD, and anyway, we were traveling. There was along this quiet country road. I want you to get this in your head, right? Quiet country road. There's only about one or two cars on that road, but nothing else, right? Suddenly, right, and I had my CD full blast, right? I couldn't hear anything on the headphones, right? I had my CD player full. I had my headphones on, full blast, right?
10:44 p.m.
And all of a sudden, out of the blue, there was this, and it rocked the car. And I couldn't see it. And I just took my headphones off, and I was like, what was that? And Mother was like, did you hear it? I was like, hear it? Do you bloody... I was like, it was like, and I was like, where did that come from? And you telling me there's nothing else out there. And I just felt what was from my nan, that energy just flew us out of the car, and it was but there could have been something else. And this is what, I always, I believe in experience. I believe in experience. Everybody else's experiences are different. When someone says they don't believe in ghosts, it's because they've not experienced it. I would love to experience a ghost that talks. It's I'd love to experience it. I'd love to have that, you know, not freaky, you know, like not spare of the moment, but a ghost that just says something. And then, I mean, you said you've heard angels, haven't you? Oh yeah, I've heard angels twice. That's another story for another day. But yeah, I've heard angels. Do you think that, like, you know, like you said, the dead, do you believe, like, there's a way that people can well, it all depends, but you know, I've always said for people to capture anything spiritual, you need the right equipment. You know, you need analog. It needs to be pure analog. You can't have digital, because the problem with digital is it's lossless. You need to have a full analog piece of equipment. And you need to have a really good microphone, one that can pick up from all these people that do paranormal. I had a chat with somebody about this actually. The people that do these paranormal investigations use the microphones they use are I think I've read one paranormal investigation where they used a ribbon mic, and another where they used, if you I think if you want to do on a budget, the AKG 2150 I think it is, which is a kick drum mic. Very good, because the frequencies that picks up is just ridiculous. And then there is another mic which I can't think the name of it, but it picks up the highest frequencies, and you need two microphones for this, because you need one that's going to pick the whole entire room up, everything in the room, all the frequencies, but you want one that picks up all the vibrations too, and you'll get something out of the ordinary. Because they were mentioning this again with cameras, to take pictures of like ghosts, you need a really good quality lens. You can't just go for a crappy, you know. But they're saying the iPhone cameras, and yeah, but I don't know, because it's lossless. You want you don't want loss. I mean, if you are going to take digital to pick up spirits digitally, you need the right equipment, you need the right stuff. You can't just go ahead and, you know, put a microphone in a room and I've been there, I've tried it, it doesn't work. You know, it did on one occasion, didn't it? Oh. Yes, the Sony tape recorder picked something up, but I don't know. You've got to be you know, the right mic.
10:50 p.m. Home. Activity.
It's the right mic and the right everything. You can't just use any form of mic. Dynamic mics don't work because, you know, it's not like a torch. You know. So yeah. So it's like you want one that picks up everything. Oh yeah. You want a mic that can pick up the most ridiculous frequencies. But with analog, with tape, you can hear things on a tape that you wouldn't hear digitally. There are some really good digital recorders out there. WAV files. If you're going to do anything, do it in a WAV file. The highest quality you need. But yeah. There is a paranormal app out there that's really good, but you've got to pay for it. So, I don't know how the hell we've got onto ghosts. I think because you were talking about red door, yellow door, any other crap door. There's actually one red door, yellow door that I'll put in where the guy fakes it, but it's that good. It's brilliant. I'm not going to spoil it. I've done enough for those. Have I covered everything? I don't know, because we talked about ghosts. Yeah, it's been a very ghosty vlog. Been lots of in this. The house. And me drumming on my knees. I think we've thrown everything into this that we need to throw in. Haven't we? Because I don't want to throw... Oh yeah, my dream journal is going to come out pretty soon. But you're writing your book, and I'm writing my book, which is going to be Sundays and Tuesdays. But I was struggling because how to write in a certain form and get those sentences right with the speech marks and how a character speaks, and oh man, we're back onto my book again. But yeah, oh yeah, hang on, there is one thing I wanted to talk about. I downloaded an app which I wanted to do a show and tell, but I'm not going to, because you can download it off the App Store and it's really, really good. I recommend it if anyone's got an Apple Watch. There is a really cool app called Buddy Watch, and you can download watch faces to customize. Apple only gives you very few, but this app gives you some really, really cool watch face. I think a new one comes out every week, but I download lots of faces. Especially having a new watch every day, you know? But it's like having a watch collection on the fly. I really wish they would release a few, like a calculator watch would be good. Didn't used to collect watches. And I did. I had this fetish. Had this thing I'd go through where I collect watches. And I had a really good watch collection as a kid. It's a very expensive hobby. Mind you, the watches I got were like cheap, but the reason I did it was because I liked the feel of the watch. Nothing else. But yeah. And I've got a story about my watch. But these new watches, like the smartwatches, they're water resistant. They're not waterproof. I won't be taking my Apple Watch into the pool because I did some research on it, and yes, you can, but it's not, it's only if you're doing a workout. And I didn't really get my watch to take in the water. At first I thought it was a cool thing, because I thought, if I go swimming, that means I can keep time, but really it doesn't work like that. I know Samsung have brought a fully waterproof watch out. With the Samsung it's different, but the Apple haven't brought a full. I think the Nike is fully waterproof, but come on guys, what do you do with your Apple Watch? Seriously, I mean, people just like, it's not fully waterproof. I tell a lot of people this, there's people that take their phones in the water, and oh gosh, the newer phones and stuff, they're becoming more water resistant, because if you're a complete douche and you drop it in the water, then yes. Like if you were to drop your phone into a washing up bowl, for example, it has to withstand that depth. But come on, why? I mean, like, it's good, for example, if you're washing your hands, it's good for that purpose. Or if you're in the rain, it needs to have that. Like, I'm not bothered with this watch if I'm in the rain and it gets wet. In fact, it has been known, like, I was in the rain and it told me to wash my hands. I'm like, I'm not washing my hands. I'm in the rain. It has happened, but it's and it's also good for, like, if you spill stuff on, like the old Apple Watches, if you'd spilled water on it and stuff like that. I think that's what happened with my old watch as well. Like, it's not great for temperatures. It's just not feasible. Anyway, we don't really have any more. So anyway,
11 p.m. 11 p.m. Mic trigger. Mic lock. Finish recording.